name is Fuyo. I work in magazines. Deputy editor of my mag.
Your COSA?
COSA, yeah. Perception of Nigerians.
Stereotypes.
The stereotypes are that Nigerians are loud. You know, there's the drug dealer kind of thing. I remember Cape Town, there's this whole thing about how they go down there and then they get all the closet chicks and they lure them with all this money and cash and flash and whatever, and that's how they hook chicks there, and then they get them to basically sell drugs for them. That's the whole thing about it. I think that the very I don't know much about Nigerian history, whatever the country, but I find it a very interesting place. It's one of those places where it's this huge, big country, like on the West Coast or in West Africa that you'd love to go to. It's like either people are really, really scared of it or they're not. And I'm one of those people who are like really curious about it, because I read like all the some African literature, so so you hear about the Igbo and the Yoruba and all of that, but I can't really speak with authority on the different cultures and the politics and all of that. But I know that it's there's a lot of conflict between the different cultures there, and obviously the Christian and the Muslim things as well. So I find it a little bit scary, but I'm certainly very curious about it.
My name is Piwe Mpye. Writer/entrepreneur. Background in journalism, but involved in business now. A whole lot of things.
You used to edit Blink magazine?
Blink magazine, I'm a Mutswana. My father's a Mutswana, so I'm a Mutswana, and my mother is Zulu. But I grew up, I speak mostly Xhosa because I grew up in a Xhosa region. Well, in my experience, country's always fascinating me. Sort of the industry, the different, I hate using the word tribe, but the different ethnic nationalities, there we go, within Nigeria, and the dynamics therein. A lot of similarities with South Africa in terms of the dynamics between ethnic groups, as it were. It's always fascinating that we as Africans, we share a lot of things, positive things, but as well as the negative, we share, and sort of tribalism and xenophobia being one of them. And I think that those are the main sort of themes that you think of when you think about, when you speak to an average South African and you ask them about Nigeria or Nigerians, the issue of xenophobia always comes up. They are not there xenophobic themselves, or they've experienced it, through their friends or with other people. It's always something that comes up. Drug dealers, crime.
Money makers.
Sorry?
Money makers.
Money makers, okay.
All about the money in Nigeria, apparently. My name is Matate. Surname is Tofile. I'm Xhosa. I've also never been to Nigeria. But what I do hear about Nigeria kind of pisses me off, because having moved to Johannesburg as a Xhosa person, I feel like I'm experiencing the same kind of thing Nigerians probably experience when they come to our country. Stereotypes. What I've seen in Johannesburg, if you hear as a Xhosa person, already formed stereotypes about you, amongst other things, and it's none of them are good things. So the whole stereotypes thing, especially when it comes to other African countries, it just pisses me off. I'm actually not interested. So I do not know much about Nigeria. I have had I've had my own experiences I've had with Nigerians, with one friend back in Cape Town who was Nigerian, and he wasn't much different from me or the next person. Anything else that I know is what I hear, or what I hear people say, and I don't necessarily believe it or disbelieve it.
I suppose an extension of the whole divide and rule principle, where you now find that white South Africans have realized that there is an intense sense of xenophobia within this country, and now you find that the white person that might have been your oppressor as a black person in South Africa in the past, well, I'm inclined to believe that it's kind of difficult for a leopard to change his stripes. So to me, the way I see it is that on a general level, that person is still an oppressor. It's just that the political situation has changed. Because business has been controlled so much by white people in this country, and when the political transition took place, there had to be a transition within the business world, but white people realized that in order for them to get ahead in the new South Africa, they need to align themselves with black people, not only for their business sake, but also for legislation's sake. And now you find a white person who's realized that there's this xenophobia, as I was saying earlier on, and you will come up to talking about anything to do with crime or immigration problems, whatever the case might be, try and create some sort of solidarity with the South African black person, saying like, look, you my friend now, kind of thing. It's these Nigerians that are fucking up the country, basically. To put it crudely, I should be in cahoots with that Nigerian guy to see how we can screw that black guy, that kind of thing. So
he looks more like me than you.
Exactly. It's sort of like a white person saying to you that I'm more black than Matafe is, that kind of thing,
They do.
So
but that's just white people. We are black Nigerians.
Yeah, so industry, drive, creativity, innovation, whatever you want to call it, but it's really, I admire that because I see a lot of complacency in my own country, in myself, in my own people, as it were, and there's a lot that we could learn from that, because I think complacency comes from the fact that even though we're the last country to get liberated on the continent, the advantages of that is that there's this infrastructure and all of this, and I think that makes us complacent, whereas actually what we should be saying is that actually we didn't create this, you know what I mean? Our fathers and grandfathers might have sweated for this building, but at the end of the day there's a white person who was behind it. So we must look at everything in context and not try and look at sort of other Africans and say, yeah, but we're great, we're South Africa, we have these great hotels. We didn't build these hotels, we don't own these hotels, Things must be put into perspective a bit.
I'd say ambition, style, and just from my country, ignorance. From my country related to yours.
My name's Roya. I'm Scottish Iranian. Is that they're successful people, they work hard, they have to, but they also have that work ethic that doesn't exist here to that degree. And it's a country with 120 million people. It's huge, and there's Nigerians everywhere. And I think Nigerians are striking. I think South Africans have prejudice against them and other African people, but I think it's just ignorance.
Okay, so if you were going to describe Nigerians with 3 words, based on your impression of them, what would those 3 words?
Tall.
Okay.
Tall, dark, and handsome. No,
That's easy.
It's hardworking, one word. Hardworking, driven, abundant.
Okay.